You're now listening to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. And now your hosts, Christian and Kris, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports.
Welcome back to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. My name is Christian. I'm your host, and here is Mr. K Camp.
What up, everybody? What is good? We thank you all for joining. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.
Yes, we do. We got a good one for y'all today.
Let's get to it. We all know who number one is, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a given right there.
That's a given.
So on this week, we are talking about the top 12 TightEnds versus ADP. At number one overall, that should be a given. It is the one. Travis Kelce. And he is being drafted at 6.1, and we are using Underdog again for our rankings, just so everybody knows where all the TightEnds are actually ranked. At number 2, we have Mr. Mark Andrews at 29.7. Then at number 3, we have TJ Hawkinson at 52.9. At 4, we got George Kittle at 61. At 5, we got Mr. Kyle Pitts at 70.6. At number 6, we got Dallas Goedert at 74.9. Then we also have at number 7, Darren Waller at 80.6. At 8, we got Mr. Evan Ingram at 97.6. At 9, we have Mr. David Njoku at 105.8. At number 10, we have Mr. Pat Freiermuth at 106. At 11, we have Chig Okonkwo at 130.1. At number 12, we have Dalton Kincaid at 130.3. And at number 13, we got Greg Dolch at 14. At 13, we got Greg Dolch at 134.2. And at 14, we have Dalton Schultz at 139.4. And at 15, we have Tyler Higbee at 146. So right now, that's a good list. Everybody, we already know the TightEnds that you must get in your drafts all the time. It's always, if you can get Travis Kelce, that'll be good. But is he really?
Yes.
Is it worth drafting him in the first round? Personally, I wouldn't draft him up in the first round.
Really? Why wouldn't you draft him in the first round?
I wouldn't.
Let's get into it.
First round. I would go
why not?
Like a running back or like a wide receiver.
Really? Now, when he puts up wide receiver numbers,
yeah, I still would take.
You still wouldn't take it. Even tight end premium. What about tight end premium?
Probably at the back half, like 111, 112. That's where I would take him.
Really? So you're not taking him in the top 8?
No.
Wow. I mean, he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, but he's only good up in tight end premiums. So personally,
is he?
Yeah. Me personally, it's just it really comes down to your feel on tight ends and things like that. I'd rather get my tight end later on up in the draft and then build my roster up in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Really? You don't think tight end? Oh, okay. I'm learning. I'm over here learning. I'm just learning what your tendencies are.
What you mean? Learning my.
I'm just learning. I'm just learning. I don't know why you wouldn't take somebody who had 110 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Compare that to what the wide receivers did. I know he's probably those numbers got to be top 15, right?
Top 15
what wide receivers did. I mean, that's off the top of my head. He might be higher than that though. He might be a top 10 wide receiver playing tight end.
Hey, if you
just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Hey, for the people at home, I'm just putting it out. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Should Travis be drafted in the first round or not in the first round?
Yeah, back into the first round, but not in no pick 6.
I mean, who's going at pick 6 normally at the normal regular ADP? I had to pull it up. This was supposed to be a short segment. We didn't get into it. You talking crazy off the jump.
Ain't nobody talking crazy. I'm just speaking facts, man. Everybody knows Travis Kelce. He is the number 1 tight end. We all know.
Yes.
That. But is it worth giving up your first round pick for a tight end?
Number one tight end and like the number 7 wide receiver. Just saying.
Hey, I'll take the number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8, really?
Wide receiver.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna have to look. Y'all bear with me. Please go ahead, continue talking. I'm gonna look up Tyreek Hills. No, I won't use him because Tua was hurt some of the games, so we won't use him. Let's use Stephon Diggs. Let's use Stephon Diggs numbers compared to Kelce. So Stephon Diggs had 108 receptions. He had 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns.
All
and
right.
he finished as a wide receiver 4. Now Kelce had two more receptions. He had almost like 90 less yards, but he had 1 more touchdown. Just saying, that's what you're getting out of Kelce. And Diggs finished at wide receiver 4. So essentially you're getting at worst a wide receiver 5 at Kelce. I'm just saying.
Sure.
He had better numbers than AJ Brown. I'm just saying.
Hey man, it all depends on what type of league you're in. If you're in a regular standard league, how does that help? If you're in like a half-point PPR.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How did that help you?
I'm talking about so you're talking about taking him in the first round and like you're gonna be golden.
Not gold. What I'm saying is he's equivalent to a top 5 wide receiver. It's all I'm really saying. And if you're telling me that you would take a top 5 wide receiver in the first round, well, why wouldn't you take Kelce as a top 5 wide receiver in the first round? Because it's going to be a big drop off, right? It's going to be a big drop off for wide receiver him to wide receiver number 2. Like he had I think he had 100. I think he had 100 more points than the next tight end, than tight end number 2 last year. So why wouldn't you take him in the first round?
Yes, because the tight end number 2, he really didn't have. He didn't have the best of like QBs out there and the best offense.
I'm guessing that was that Mark Andrews. I'm not sure. Was that Mark Andrews who finished 2 last year?
I think so, or it might have been.
Yeah, and we know that Lamar got hurt. He missed like the last 5 or 6 games. So
Lamar stay hurt.
He won't get hurt this year. If he is, he gonna play through it this year for sure. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I know I cut you off. You supposed to get on the list. It should have been supposed to be a quick show. We're 8 minutes in. We already know because he's just disrespecting Kelce. Disrespect that man.
Ain't nobody disrespecting. I got that dude on
disrespectful.
I just said I wouldn't take
that you wouldn't take him in the first round, but you can't really tell me why you would take him in the first round because essentially he's a wide receiver 5.
I told you this. My philosophy is different.
But you're not. Tell me. I'm sorry. Maybe I missed it.
So here you go.
Tell me again why you wouldn't take him.
Justin Jefferson. Go ahead. Let's pretty much this is exactly what they're saying. How it's being flown. How it's flowing right now.
Okay.
So according to this, and I'm on a different.
This being what?
Oh no, I can't be giving out these. We ain't getting sponsored by these.
Oh, okay. When I get sponsored, okay, that's fair. According to this, go ahead. Hold on,
let me go back to this other one. So according to this, based off how this is being drafted, so you have Justin Jefferson going number 1, Jamar Chase going number 2, Christian McCaffrey going 3, Cooper Kupp at number 2.
You mean number 2?
I meant number 4.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill and pretty much Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill. They're both being drafted at the exact same position. And then you got Travis Kelce. And then you got Stephon Diggs. Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Some people are drafting.
Boom. So what is that? What I just say? Essentially, he's your wide receiver 5 because you just named 4 wide receivers. You take JJ, Chase, Cup, Hill, and then you got Travis Kelce. He's your wide receiver 5. That's what he is. You would take a wide receiver in the first round. Why wouldn't you take a wide receiver that's posing, quote unquote, as a tight end in the first round? I'm just.
Hey.
I feel like you hadn't given us
at 1.06. Are you taking him at 1.06? That's pretty much what you're saying. You're gonna take him and you're gonna build your team that way.
If I'm going to
have a better team next week,
if I'm going to have a wide receiver, if I'm taking a wide receiver anyway at 1.06, yeah, I will take Kelce at 106. Yes, I would. Now if I'm picking a running back, that's different, right? Picking a running back, that's different. But if I'm picking a wide receiver anyway. Different. No. Why would it not different? If my point is he's essentially a wide receiver 5, or he's the wide receiver 5, why not take him in the first round, or in like the top 7 spots or 6 spots or whatever? Why not? If you're taking a wide receiver anyway, why not take Kelce? There are more wide receivers than there are good tight ends, right? There are more good wide receivers than there are tight ends.
Okay, so you're gonna build your team starting off with Kelce.
If I'm at the 6th spot, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. You know, did I can hammer wide receiver? I can hammer wide receiver, boom, 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 running back, in whichever order. I have no problem with that. Letting him fall to, like, let's say 12. If you let him fall, if he falls to 12, that means the person's picking back to back, right?
Hey, I said I'll pick him in the first round, but it'll be like 11 or 12.
I mean, if he fall to think of the person, think of whoever that is, right? Think of the person. What number is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's around Garrett Wilson. So if you're able to get Kelce and Garrett Wilson, or Kelce and CeeDee Lamb, or Kelce and Amon-Ra, Kelce, and don't let it be Kelce and Bijan, you know that. Mm-hmm. That's hell of a, because the next best tight end is at least 50 points different from Kelce, but the next best wide receiver might be like 10 points, 5 points. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and all I'm saying, I just want to take him at 1.06. I'll take him at like 111, 112.
He ain't gonna be there. He shouldn't. You gonna make me look, because I did a best ball where I had to take. I was at 1.06 and I took Kelce.
Oh, so I took him at 1.06?
I did.
Okay, so how'd your team end up looking after that?
I'm trying. Maybe it wasn't best ball. Or it was best ball. Maybe it was on. Okay, here it is right here. So, okay, this was one of the ones I reached, but it was one of the. Then I came back with Jonathan Taylor. Came back with JT. That was my next pick. My third pick, I came back. So this was, so I was, so I forced the stack. You know, people at home, you're not supposed to do this, but I did it. The reason I did is because I had Kelce, right? So I'm like, I got Kelce. I really have a tight end. I really have a top 5 wide receiver, just playing tight end. So I'm going to reach for DJ Moore. I reached for DJ Moore because I wanted the DJ Moore Justin Fields stack.
Oh,
right. So to me, I'm seeing that, okay, I got DJ Moore is really my number 2 wide receiver, which who wouldn't take that, right? If DJ Moore's on your team as a wide receiver 2, would you take that? Would you be cool with that? You'd be cool with that. So that's how I understood it in my head. Okay, I got DJ Moore wide receiver 2. I got Kelce as my wide receiver 1. Then I picked up Justin Fields. I think I came back with Pittman. David Montgomery, 78, Pittman, Treylon Burks. I got him. So that's how my team. I reached for DJ Moore, yes, but I did that because I knew that I usually had a number 1 wide receiver on my team just playing tight end. I mean, they got me.
Yeah, And that's the thing, though. It's like it's not like we're debating against the wrong thing. You just saying you would take him at 1.6. I just said I won't take him at 1.6. I said I'd rather draft him at like 111, 112.
Right, but you're not telling me why you wouldn't take him at 1.6 when, let me finish, when he's essentially a wide receiver 5.
So I think it's
And,
really
and you would
based
take a wide
on
receiver
the
there.
philosophy that you end up bringing. So let's just go back and look at the ADP. So let's say I am at, so if I'm picking at 1.06, then that means I'm coming back in the second half at, what's that, like 118?
6. That's,
So
that's
like
12. That's 12 spots, right?
Yeah.
Is it 12 spots somewhere around
So it
there?
was like
Oh, I
207.
had it up. Yeah, I should be able to tell you because I had it exact. I should
So
be able
if
to tell you
I'm
the numbers
going
exactly.
at 106, the first thing that I'm
19.
looking at when I'm actually building my team is, let me go and explode this out to 50 people. Let's see. So what I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, so right now I'm at 106, let's just say. And then
Right?
pretty much on the
Okay.
board is we got Diggs, Eckler, A.J. Brown, Bijan, C.D., Garrett, Devontae Adams. So this is what I'm looking at right here. And if we are doing best ball and I'm on the clock and I see what's going on, we actually go down to, I don't think I would get him. So if we was on the clock, then, yeah, I probably might have to change my thing. I probably would go Kelce. And then I would come back with, but I would try to get the stack, though. I would try to come back.
You would try to get Pat. You would try to get Pat Mahomes in the third.
No, in the second.
In the third.
I'd go
okay, so you would reach a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah.
That was
I
your
would
stack
go
you
that
wanted.
Stack, and that's not me like really reaching. It's just my philosophy of how I would actually build that team. But let's say I stuck with like my narrative at the beginning, and I didn't even want to go Kelce. The next person that I could think about going, and this is just me thinking he's going to have a big year this year, I would go Garrett Wilson at like 106.
So you would go Garrett Wilson. ADP has him at
the back end
12.
of the first.
Right, 12. You would go Garrett Wilson at 106.
But that's just me.
You think?
I think he can have Garrett. So I know this is top 12 tight ends versus ADP, but we kind of went up on a little tangent right here. But I personally think that Garrett Wilson this year can produce the same numbers that Devontae Adams did whenever he was playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa. Whoa. Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Nah, so you're gonna make me go back, bro. You're gonna make me go back and look at DA numbers. That's not happening.
Why not?
There's a number of reasons. First reasons is that Devontae Adams, he didn't get that until like his third year with Aaron Rodgers. That's one.
It doesn't have to be a third year. He's the number one option.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So I'm guessing Jordan Nelson, I guess, was there, and Greg Jennings probably was gone. But maybe Greg Jennings was there. Who was there before Devon? So who?
I'm
so
talking about before he just left.
Huh?
I'm talking about the stats that Devontae Adams and then Aaron Rodgers put up the last couple years before Devontae ended up getting traded over to the Raiders.
Right. What I'm saying is that DA didn't start balling until his third year with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't ball his first 2 years with Aaron Rodgers. It took him 3 years
and you want to
for
know
him
why
to start
he
getting them
the number
numbers.
One option either. He wasn't the first round pick.
Right. So I'm asked. That's what I'm asking. Who was there when DA was there his first 2 years? Who was Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy? That's what I'm asking. Who was his number one? That's what I'm asking.
I'm pretty sure it was Jordy. It'll make me go all the way back and look now.
So he was drafted in 2014. Looks like 2014. 2014, 2015, he didn't break out until his third year. And so you would have to see when who was there in 2014, because they won in 2012. And so I think 2014 might have been a year that they went 15-1. That was Jordan Nelson's big year. 2015, he tore his ACL.
Well, you also got to remember too. That's probably also around the time where, yeah, I'm pretty sure Randall Cobb was up in there too as well.
Randall Cobb ever a number one option?
You said what?
I'm guessing maybe was Randall Cobb ever a number one option?
So this is the year.
I guess it was just that 1 year in 2015.
So in 2015, yeah, that's why you got James Jones and you got Randall Cobb. Both of them played 16 games.
That's probably when
they had 100 targets and then 100 targets for James Jones. Both of them.
Okay, that's when James Jones. Was that when James Jones had like 15 touchdowns a year or whatever it was, 14, some big number of touchdowns? One year he led the league in touchdowns. One year he led the league in touchdowns. I'm
about to go to So in his, and this is why I said because of in 2014 you had Jordy Nelson who had 151 targets on 98 receptions and 15 or 1,519 yards on 13 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's when they went 15-1. Next year, I think he tore his ACL. Go ahead.
Probably. And then he had Randall Cobb that had 126 targets on 91 receptions for 1,287 yards on 12 touchdowns.
So you're essentially, I'm looking at DA's numbers, and you're telling me he can have a DA year with Aaron Rodgers in his first year with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
So out of, and I'm looking now. I want to look at DA's stats. Tell me which year you think he can just throw out some numbers. Throw out receptions, yards, and touchdowns that you're projecting for Garrett Wilson.
For Garrett Wilson this year, I can say he'll probably have roughly around 140 targets, probably 100 between like 95 to like 100 something receptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then roughly around like 1,400 yards.
1,400 yards. How many touchdowns?
If he's going to be the go-to guy, I'll give him like double-digit touchdowns.
So you're saying 95, 1,350, 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, or like 11, 12.
11, 12 touchdowns. Oh my God!
You gotta think about it. Like, look at who's on that team right now.
I mean, do I think Garrett Wilson have a breakout year? Yes.
No, I'm saying look who's on that team. So the reason why I'm giving you those exact same stats is because there's nothing different from the exact same stats that that Davante Adams had in 2020 with Aaron Rodgers, and that's with Davante Adams missing 2 games. He had 149 targets, 115 receptions for 1,374 yards, and then 18 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's going to get 18 touchdowns, but I'm saying he's going to get roughly up in those, like the yards and then like the receptions in that same, and they got an extra game too.
I mean, I forgot about the extra game.
He's going to end up force feeding just like he did when we already know how Aaron Rodgers is. When he trusts a wide receiver and he trusts him a lot, and I think he's going to end up trusting Garrett Wilson. He's going to force feed him the ball.
That's just those are gaudy numbers. That's a big I guess they're not gaudy numbers. Well, the only thing is gaudy about them are the touchdowns, because he had 83, 11, and then 4. So I can see 17 more 17 more receptions. I can see 200 more yards. I can't see 8 more touchdowns. I'm with you. So, okay, I'll just to put this to bed, and let's get back on pace. I'm sorry. I'm with you on the receptions and yards, but touchdown, that's 8. Ooh, that's a big jump.
He only had 5 last year.
So 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. Yeah, he can get 6.
Mm-hmm.
He can get 7. That's
whoa.
Like if
You mean
we go
seven? You mean you said 10? So that's 10. That's 6 more. You said 10 to 12. Really? So that's anywhere from 6 to 8 more.
That's those good quick outs real quick. Just like how Aaron Rodgers likes it. Go to the goal line.
That's true.
Devontae Adams, get out to the pylon. But instead, it's not going to be Devontae Adams. It's going to be Garrett Wilson, get out to the pylon. Or like him with that China route. Where you go.
I'm with you to the I can see him doubling his touchdown. I mean, I can even see him getting 10 touchdowns. I can see him getting 10 touchdowns. That's not crazy. Yeah. I guess looking at his last year numbers and with who they had back there at quarterback, yeah, I can see 17 more receptions, 200 more yards. I can see 6 more touchdowns. I don't know if I see 8, but I can see 6 more touchdowns. All right. So back to the topic, you said you would take Garrett Wilson at 6 and Travis Kelce in some scenarios. Man, that means and all that's my biggest thing was like, do I think he's gonna? I was gonna ask you this. I think he's gonna have Travis Kelce numbers. And if you're saying 113 and 10 to 12, that's pretty close to Travis Kelce numbers. So that's what you're saying. All right, I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, not on a tangent, not how I planned it. Back to tight ends.
Back to the top 12 tight ends versus ADP. At number 16, we have Mr. Cole Kmet at 148.3. At number 17, we have Mr. Irv Smith at 152.6. At 18, we have Gerald Everett at 155.3. At number 19, we have Mr. Taysom Hill at 160.5. Right. At 20, we have Mr. Sam Laporta at 164.3. And we are getting deep down in there where it's like no man's land right now. At 21, we have Jawan Johnson at 169.3. At 22, we have Dawson Knox at 179.3. At 23, we have Mr. Mike Gesicki at 184.4. At 24, we have Tyler Conklin at 190.6. At 25, we have Mr. Hayden Hurst at 198.1. At 26, we have Luke Musgrave at 200.8. At 27, we have Mr. Trey McBride at 202.7. At 28, we have Mr. Isaiah Likely at 204.8. And at 29, we have Mr. Jake Ferguson at 206.8. And then rounded off the top 30 tight ends, we have Mr. Michael Mayer at 207.3. Man, when I mean that list just went down and you just start cringing, not knowing what tight end you're going to end up getting.
Oh, my God. See, that's why that's another reason where I'm like, go ahead and get Kels, knock it out the way, get your tight end. You don't have to pick another tight end until like after the 10th round if you get Kels. And just, hammer wide receiver running backs, throw a quarterback in there, come back wide receiver running back. That's because it's just so few top ones.
Mm-hmm. But so that's one thing that I'm looking at this year is I'm actually looking at which tight ends that like nobody's actually talking about can actually end up becoming a commodity, something for like dynasty, like guys that everybody's high on, like Dalton Kincaid. Everybody's talking about like Sam Laporta. But the one person that
I'm ranked at 20 though. But go ahead.
The one person that I don't think that's getting really that much love is that Mr. Michael Mayer, because he's not that gadget type tight end, similar to like Dalton Kincaid. Like he's not that type of like slot. Michael Mayer is that old school tight end. Like
he can do it all though.
Mr. Jason Witten out there.
Right. Run block, pass block, and he can
do it all. He might not be the fastest, but he can get open. And that's one guy that I'm really high on this year that I think he can end up cracking the top 12 if they can end up getting him the ball. It ain't really a
That's
jump.
a jump.
You want to know why? It's
From
not a
30?
jump. Well, that's just
From 30 to 12?
That's just the
Yeah, so
rankings.
I'm going off rankings, yeah.
It's just rankings. Like, but if you think about production, so last year, who they have, like they had Devontae Adams still. And then you also got to think of, they also had Hunter Renfrow still. So those two guys are still there. He was hurt, though. And they had Darren Waller, who was also hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But now Michael Maris comes in. So with Michael Maris coming in, all those vacated targets that actually are gone from Darren Waller that he ended up having, now those have the potential to go into Michael Mayer.
But the only thing with that is you have Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G known for throwing to his tight end like that?
Yeah.
I know.
Go back
I know
and look at when Jimmy's healthy. Like it's just sort of similar to like what was said about Jimmy G. Like Jimmy G, like he's a timing quarterback. And if we look at, so we're going back to the stats of like what they did last year, and we already know Jimmy G has played underneath Josh McDaniels already. And in that same offense, and technically we can actually end up going to, if we can actually pull up the stats of the year that Jimmy G was the QB in New England, that can actually say a good chunk of what we think Jimmy G can end up doing, something similar to that.
What is Michael Mayer projections?
So I'm now, and this is just based off what I'm looking right now, the Raiders tight ends last year, you had Foster Monroe, and he had 54 targets, and he played 15 games. Then you also had Darren Waller. He only played 9 games, and he had 43 targets. So I'm saying right now that Michael Mayer is getting more than 43 targets.
Mm-hmm. He should get around 60.
60
at
to
least
70.
60 targets. Right.
And like what he puts onto them is like, it's like that's one thing about having tight ends. Like it's really like a dart throw now. Like you're really just throwing darts after the top 5. You're trying to see who's going to end up cracking that, because it's just like musical chairs. Those picks from 6 all the way to 12 is interchangeable all the time.
You know what? I should have put in my last tier. I should have put honorable mention Sam Laporta, and I didn't. And I have somebody else another honorable mention that I failed to put. But I'll talk about them too.
So, looking at these tight ends and things, and seeing like how they all was ranked, we also got some honorable mentions, which is Mr. Noah Fant, and we have Jelani Woods, Hunter Henry, and then Logan Thomas. I think Jelani Woods, he might be able to do something this year up in Indy.
He's a freak athlete,
and we can see what's going to end up happening. Like only time will tell how good that chemistry between him and then Anthony Richardson is going to end up being.
How is Shane going to use him? Right.
Noah Fant, that's just a tight end that is physically gifted.
That's the Denver Broncos, right?
No, he's actually on the Seattle Seahawks.
That's right. He got traded. He was in the trade for Russell Wilson. That's right.
But with him being up in Seattle, I don't see him being like the guy, because they are, like what we talked about in the previous episodes, they have 3 monsters out there, and let's not even include the 2 running backs that they have.
Right.
Mr. Hunter Henry, he ain't been the same since he left the Chargers.
He ain't. And they didn't they get Mike Gesicki?
Yep. They also got Mike Gesicki now too.
Yeah. Hunter's longer than tooth. He getting old. So
then you got Mr. Logan Thomas, which pretty much he ain't been the same ever. Besides that one good year that he had with with the Commanders.
Did he tore something?
And then he tore his ACL.
Yeah. Poor Commanders. They just pathetic.
But that is your honorable mention. This next segment, we are going into the top 12 tight ends versus ADP, and who we think, per their ADP, is actually being drafted at the right price.
Travis Kelce.
That's a
The
given.
the obvious. The obvious. Anybody else? I'm not even sure because
We're actually going to go back and look.
yeah, I don't really
So,
like any of that.
um, so some of
I
the guys that I
mean,
can see, like Dallas Goddard, I like him as where he's being drafted, sixth round,
74.
early sixth round. I can take that. Or is that early seventh? 72 points,
You
so
going
6 point
70,
12.
74 divided by 12, no? Is that how you would do it, right?
But Dallas Goddard, I like where he's being drafted. I can go with him. But then it's like where you say it's like the one guy that nobody's really talking about, and I know probably because he got hurt, is daggone Dalton Schultz. And the only thing
How
about
does
him is like
Baker
I'm only bringing him
talk to?
up because we know that in Houston we have a rookie QB.
Oh, why did I think he was? Oh no, why did I think he was? Oh no, why I thought he went to the Buccaneers. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But with him being in Houston and with a rookie QB, and also them bringing on, I think their offensive coordinator Kane is coming from San Fran also too as well. So they might end up running that same West Coast system, which could end up featuring the tight end and helping out CJ Stroud. So like that's one guy right
He
there that I'm.
he definitely needs somebody he can count on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And typically your tight end is your best friend to count on out there.
Yep.
I just so they said I don't know I heard some reports saying Dalton Schultz basically he's not as good as his numbers showed. He's
Yeah.
not that he's not all that. I'm
Oh
like,
no.
really? I'm
I haven't
just looking at the
drafted him
numbers.
over like the past couple of years, but like I'm just throwing it out there because with the rookie QB, can he be that blanket and be that?
Can he be a Jason
Can he
Witten?
help CJ Stroud
Mm-hmm.
throughout the year with like short dump offs and things like that,
That is going
based
to be
off where
interesting.
he's being drafted?
Okay, so if the price is right. I mean, you said Dallas Goddard. I'm saying the obvious.
Well, everybody already knows Travis Kelce. Like, yeah, that's
right.
But
Anybody?
it's to get out of your comfort zone and look up anybody else you think that is actually going to be drafted around like a good spot that might end up performing better than their numbers, but they're at the right spot just to be drafted in.
I'm trying to look at in the 8th round. What they say? What is David Njoku? What number is he?
David
100 and what?
Njoku is 105.8.
So who's going around his same ADP? You got Dak Prescott, Tyler Boyd, Pratt Firemuth, Scott Moore, Alan Lazar, Kirk Cousins before him. I'm probably okay with that in the 8th round, late 8th round for David Njoku. If you let's say
That's
you
just
got
saying that
Travis.
you don't have your tight end, or are you saying that, are you saying that
right.
like you do have your tight end?
I was saying if you do, so that means they leave 6 picks. But you wouldn't take David Njoku at 8 if you have Travis Kelce. I figure you would wait a little bit longer.
No, like if you take, if we're talking about that, so like if we're saying that like okay, yes, we're going off with Travis Kelce being your number one tight end, shoot, you're probably not worrying about another tight end until like a Sam Laporta or something.
Yeah, I didn't when I drafted Kelce at 6. I didn't draft another tight end until Dalton Kincaid at 126.
And that's what exactly right there. Like if you got, and to be honest with you, that's not a bad tight end matchup because Dalton Kincaid.
So yeah, I guess if you don't have a tight end, I'm cool with Njoku in the back half of the 8.
Since we did the honorable mentions in this segment, we're actually breaking down our top tight ends. And for the people that are not looking at the visual on YouTube, which you need to go to the YouTube, you need to go to subscribe, like, check out all. other videos that we have out there on the Cerberus Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. At the top 12 tight ends versus ADP, I'm reading from my left to my right, and we have Mr. K. Camp at his first overall. We have Mr. Travis Kelce, and on our tier rankings, we have a tier rankings, just giving visuals to the people that are not looking at the actual video. We have a tier rankings. Tier 1 is actually going to be colored in red. Tier 2 is going to be colored in white. Tier 3 will be colored in blue. Tier 4 will be colored in green. Tier 5 will be colored in purple. And it's really not a tier 6, but it's like an honorable mention. That's yellow, which is pretty much the 13th tight end. But reading Mr. K. Camp's number 1, he had in his first tier, only person in there he has is Travis Kelce. At number 2, he had Mr. Darren Waller and Mr. Mark Andrews in tier 2. In tier 3, which is in blue, he had TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, and then Kyle Pitts. In tier 4, he had Mr. Dallas Goedert, Mr. David Njoku, number 9, Greg Dolch, number 10, Dalton Kincaid, and in tier 5, he had Evan Ingram, and at number 12, he had Mr. Pat Freiermuth, and his honorable mention is Mr. Gerald Everett. So for Christian_CFS, at number 1, he has the obvious Travis Kelce, but in his tier 1, he also included Mark Andrews. In tier 2, he has Mr. George Kittle. At tier 3, we have Kyle Pitts at it's at number 4, but it's just tiered. So, and at 5, Dalton Kincaid in tier 3, and at 6, TJ Hawkinson in tier 3. Then in tier 4, he has Dallas Goedert, then Darren Waller in tier 4, and then Mr. Cole Kmet at tier 4. In tier 5, he has Irv Smith Jr. Then also he has Greg Dolch. And at last but not least, we have Mr. Sam Laporta in tier 5. And then his honorable mention is Mr. Evan Ingram. And I ain't gonna lie, if we had to add like another honorable mention, I'm definitely putting Michael Mayers in that honorable mention.
You have Michael Mayers. See, I would put I want to add 2.
Okay.
And I want to add Sam Laporta.
Okay.
And the other person is that I think people can sleep on. Don't sleep on this person. I think Jawan Johnson might be. What is his ADP? Jawan Johnson ADP is.
So if we go back to the list, his ADP is that he's ranked 21, and he's at 169.3.
I think Jawan Johnson he'll jump into like the top 15. I think he'll be six positions higher. Because, he's in New Orleans. He's out there with Derek Carr.
And that's the thing. So I thought about including him in my rankings, but I did not. Because I was like, if I had to put him in there, who am I taking out? And it's like what we discussed before. It's like you have like the top 6, top 5 tight ends who, okay, yeah, I think they're going to do numbers. But then after that, it's pretty much like you throwing darts out there. You just trying to see if something's going to stick, if you're going to hit that bullseye with one. And if everybody already knew this draft was going to be deep with tight ends, then why not take a flyer on daggone 3 tight ends? That's why I end up with Michael Mayer and what he's going into.
I like Michael Mayer. I think he will. I think he's at 30. I definitely think he will outperform.
There's another person out there that's late sleeper that I think that
he should be top 20.
That I think he's going to end up doing something this year. And
Mike Gesicki?
No. Mr. Trey McBride on the Cardinals because we already know they gonna stink and they gonna have to throw the ball. And if Kyler Murray does not start, then they're gonna probably have a rookie QB in there. And you also can look at and see what I'm actually going to look up his stats real quick and see what he did last year towards the end of the season. Not at the beginning, but towards the end of the season. Trey McBride. So Trey McBride, let's see, pull it up. So he played in all 16 games. Yeah. And these are just what he had so far. Last year, he had 39 targets on 29 receptions for 265 yards. Yes, I know y'all saying like those are like god awful. I understand. I understand. But we're also like when we're trying to get this dark throw or this sleeper tight end, like we're trying to get somebody that where you can get value from in the late rounds that nobody's actually thinking of. And then if we're actually using what we got up above, up in our brains and everything, and we're thinking clearly with the Arizona Cardinals, we know they're not going to be a good team. They're always going to be behind. And if they are competitive and they do have a QB that is a rookie, he's going to need his security blanket. And we could go back and look at the stats for the god awful 14-4 and 13 Arizona Cardinals last year. And if we look at it, so you have, and this is like you still got Zach Ertz there. I understand that, but eventually we know Zach Ertz is older, so they're going to try to transition. I think Trey McBride into his role this year, and he had 69 targets, but also you got to remember this too. Zach Ertz only played in 10 games last year, so he had 69 targets and 47 receptions for 406 yards. And then Mr. Trey McBride played in all 16 games, and he had, like I said previously, 39 targets on 29 receptions, which his reception percentage was 74%. Not saying that that's not a good option, but I think he's a good sleeper just to get up in this year's draft, especially where he's being drafted late.
ADP, yeah. 201, yeah.
I think that's a good value right there, especially towards the end. Like you could get depending on how you're drafting and everything, you can end up going with like a Mark Andrews. And we already know since he's down there, like you can probably end up getting other QBs and everything, or other tight ends. Like you can get like a Cole Kmet and then stack up other tight ends back there.
Speaking of Cole Kmet, you got Cole Kmet at 9.
Oh, yes.
You don't think that's high?
Oh, no.
You think he's going to ball out this year?
Oh, yes. I am high on Cole Kmet this year. And the reason why I'm high on Cole Kmet is because of his offensive coordinator, Luke Getz, from the Green Bay Packers. Let the Bears join. So he is coming from that Shanahan-style offense with the wide zone blocking scheme. And a lot of people, I don't think they looked at this towards the end of the season. The one thing about Luke and like what he does is that he plays to his actual player's strengths. And that's what a lot of people didn't realize. And when you actually go back and look at the film, Luke Getz ended up playing to his player's strengths. But one of those players' strengths that he focused on last year, and he was a big focal point in, was Mr. Cole Kmet. And this is just the Bears' offense, like some stats that I ended up finding out about the Bears, which what I'm about to tell you, you're about to be shocked on some of these stats. So did you know that the Chicago Bears, they scored on 70.6 of their opening drives, which was first up in the NFL.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The next closest teams was the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay, and the Las Vegas Raiders were at 58.8%. Their opening drives, their opening drives is ranked number 1 in the fewest punts/drives, at number 3 in the most points/drives, number 4 in drives to reach the red zone. And this is what one of the players said about Luke Getsy. Robert Tonyan ended up saying that he enjoyed playing in that scheme, and he feels that Luke Getsy is going to get the best out of his players, and that's what everybody's been saying about Luke Getsy. And I think if the Bears end up trending well this year, which
I think we
both think that they will based off what they have out there, we could see Mr. Luke Getsy possibly being on the table for like a head coaching position.
Oh, they're gonna have that. That means you have the Bears making the playoffs and like going from how many wins they had, like 6 last year. Let's say from.
I'm just saying because of what
5,
he is
6.
and how the league is trending, they want offensive-minded coaches. And if he's that type of, I'm gonna get the best out of my I'm gonna get the best out of my players, then that's who I think. Like,
that's interesting. Shout out DJ Moore. Shout out Justin Fields. Let's see what y'all got, Chicago. I'm a Justin Fields fan, so
but you also got to look
at. I'm gonna support him.
You got to look at what they have this year coming in, and like what they did last year. So this year they have a number 1, which is DJ Moore. They had Mooney, but Mooney got hurt, so hopefully Mooney can end up coming back.
He should be back. I saw the other day. He'll be back full healthy for training camp.
Then you also have Mr. Claypool.
Claypool, I don't know about him. I'm hearing some bad things about him.
I'm talking about him being an asset to the team as of like a deep threat or like intermediate routes. Things just to get DJ Moore open, or just to clear the area, just for like Cole Kmet, just to come like right behind him. And like what I said before, remember what I told you, that Luke Getsy gets the best out of his players. He understands the strengths and everything. So
now, and Getsy was there last year though, right? But they, like I said, they didn't have a number 1, and then they didn't have Claypool until they didn't even get
But if you go back and look at like their wins were like up and down, like a little up and down, like away.
And they lost some close ones. ones. So, I mean, I'm looking at his stats. I didn't realize they were that good. I mean, he finished tight end 7. That's not saying that overall number sounds good. He only had 147 people. Only had 147 points. But he had 50 receptions for 544 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's
the thing about it. Like, that's why I said, like, from 6 to 6 through 12, it's like you're throwing darts that you're trying to get like who's going to be. And it's like we can go back in time and look to see how interchangeable that is and everything.
Right. I see you have Irv Smith Jr. at number 10.
Yes.
Why so high on Irv?
So another reason why I'm high on Irv Smith Jr. is because Irv Smith Jr. has been just this freak athlete. And I'm actually this is one big, I'm talking about a big major dart that I'm throwing. I'm thinking about the offense and thinking about who they end up losing this year, like this past year, which was Hayden Hurst. They ended up losing Hayden Hurst this year to the Carolina Panthers. But what Irv Smith has and like his potential, I think he will fit well in that Bengals offense.
Really?
If they can end up getting because we already know who the focal points are going to be. It's going to be Jamar Chase.
You know that.
It's also going to be Mr.
That,
T. Higgins. And you got Mr. Tyler Boyd in there. And I think Irv Smith can be playing right beside Tyler Boyd. And he can be that good old option number 3.
Okay, I was trying to pull up his stats last year, but
whose stats? Irv Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, Irv Smith, his stats were up on Minnesota last year. That's why I said it's a dart through where it's like trying to get that dart thrown on there. Potential sleeper out there, Irv Smith, up in your late round. Just getting him, just seeing if he has the potential because he's going to a high power offense.
Just another weapon from my boy Joe Burrow, 2023 MVP. I'll take that. I can't even put him in stat news. I don't know why. That's true.
Whose stats did you want?
I don't know.
His?
Irv Smith Jr.
Oh, his stats
I was just curious.
His stats were awful.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we taking a flower. Irv Smith going to a good offense. Got Joe Burrow. We know Joe Burrow will do his thing. We know he's gonna throw the ball all over the field. So
this is a big.
Okay.
You see if
okay.
Stats.
I can understand that. I mean, everything else you're probably. So your big ones was Irv Smith and Cole Kmet.
So this is his stats right here, and he only played in 8 games. So, he. All right, where are they? So he played in 8 games. He had on 36 targets. He had 25 receptions for 182 yards. The most yards that he has done since he's came into the league, which was his first year. Roughly his first 2 years is where, and that's the reason why a lot of people was like disappointed in him because his first 2 years, he ended up getting 300 yards, like 311 yards his rookie year, and then his second year he had 365 yards. So everybody was thinking he was going to have big potential coming up in that Minnesota offense, but then he ended up getting hurt. Now he's actually on the Bengals, who is an explosive offense. And it's just a big dart throw.
Okay. And I think our biggest difference outside of those two is I have Darren Waller at 2. You have him at 8.
Oh, yeah. I don't trust Darren Waller at all.
You don't trust his health?
Yeah, no.
I think, yeah, he's 30. I think he's going to be healthy this year. I'm going to put it out there. I think he's going to be healthy this year.
Okay, what's the stats?
He's the number.
What's the stats?
His number one target for New York Giants. I can see him catching.
So you're saying we're going to get the old Darren Waller?
Yes.
From what was it?
2 years ago.
2021?
21 and 2020. I think that I want all the seasons. You give me all the seasons? No. Okay, perfect. So 2019, he had 90 receptions for 1,100 yards, and he only had 3 touchdowns. Yeah. But 2020, he had 107 receptions for 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. I can see 90 receptions over 1,000 yards, and I can see 8 touchdowns from him.
But you also got to remember, too, with him up in that 2020 season, that was his contract year, too.
I understand that.
So,
I mean, he did good. He did good in 2019, year before that. I think he's a new place, a breath of fresh air, and I think as long as he stays now, key thing for him, right, is health, right? But as long as he stays healthy, he will be the number one target person.
That is true.
Because they did not get a number 1 wide receiver.
Nope,
they did not.
So
he's essentially their number 1 wide receiver. So I can see him doing 1,000 yards.
So
close to.
So you think he's going to be the Travis Kelce of the NFC?
Who's out there? Yes.
So you got out there in the NFC.
Yes.
You got T.J. Hawkinson.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do T.J. Hawkinson.
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cole Kmet.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts.
He's the number one option.
He'll outperform Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, outperform Kyle Pitts. I'm a little down on Kyle Pitts, not because of Kyle Pitts, but just because of I don't understand what they're doing in Atlanta. I don't understand what they're doing. I do not know. I don't know what they're doing. They should find the offensive coordinator. He isn't that creative, I think, and I think that's the problem. Because there's no way that Kyle Pitts should not be.
He should be
having a lot more receptions. He should be the focus. Exactly. So
especially how high you drafted him.
But that was a different regime, right? That regime is gone. That's why I moved him down to 6. I put him down at 2-3. That's why.
Yeah, I got him at 4 only because of it's not even he's in. It's so both of us we still have him up in tier 3.
Right.
So tier 3 is. I'm not big on ranking players and things like that because everybody can end up falling up in a tier, but then that's what we know. But I do say I see up on your list that you have Mr. Pat Freiermuth on there, and you have Mr. David Njoku as well up there, and I don't have any of those guys on my list whatsoever.
You don't have David in there, so I think David is talented. I think David. He's talented. He can block. He can catch. I don't know why he's not featured more, but I think he will be featured more this year. For whatever, I think he has another year with
Deshaun Watson.
With Deshaun Watson, and I think that I think he's gonna have. I want to say a breakout. I want to say a breakout year. Let me see, look at his career stats. Yeah, his career year. He had 639 in 2018. He's never had more than 4 touchdowns in the season. I think he does. Yeah, he had 80 targets last year.
Okay.
I think that he will do. 65 targets, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. I do think that he's talented, man. I don't know why he's not featured more. That's also crazy for me. How is he not featured more? He can run and he can block. I think he is a what did Travis Kelce say? They were talking about Travis Kelce was talking to George Kittle, and he was like, "Well, shit, you shouldn't block so good then." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Kelce ain't known for his blocking.
Nope.
I can get them hands though for you. So George Kittle, he won't get more passes. Don't block as well. So but I think David's a great blocker. But he can also catch the ball, so give him the ball. I don't know what they're doing. So that's why I have David high. I think he has a better year than last year. I mean, he had 600 yards, 628 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not bad. 58, but he can do a little bit better than that, especially in the touchdown area.
Yep.
He can get you 6 to 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's why I have him up there. You said who else you said?
Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, I think I would probably, when I take out Pat Freiermuth for one of my other honorable mentions, Laporta or Jawan Johnson. I mean, Pat had a pretty good year last year, but did he not?
Yeah, he had a good year. He had played in all 16 games. He had 68 targets, 63 yards for 702
touchdowns.
And 2 touchdowns. Yards are good. That touchdowns, though. Need to get touchdowns.
But that comes with your quarterback, though. So he played 2 seasons. I mean, he had better yards than he did his rookie year. So, he needs to up those touchdowns. If he can stay around the same yards, he can stay around 65 receptions, 700 yards. If he can get 5 to 7 touchdowns, I think he could be in that 4th tier I have him in. 1, 2, 3, 4. That 5th tier I have him in.
Okay.
So, he's got to, like you said, he's got to up those touchdowns.
Okay.
Those touchdowns. I mean, he finished. That's not really saying a lot, but he finished tight end 6.
Yeah.
So
that's that.
That's the other dart, right?
That dart.
Dart. Close your eyes and let's hope. Yeah.
All right. In this next segment, we're going to end up talking about what made us say had that good old wait.
Said, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. The tight ends.
I think the only thing, it was probably more about Underdog's ADP with the tight ends that I didn't agree with.
Okay. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I think they have a lot of good tight ends that are pretty low. Like you said, Michael Mayer.
Like I personally that's one of the tight ends that I was like, hey, what you
in the
have
200s?
on your radar?
30? 30?
Yeah.
No, he'll be a top 20 tight end.
Yeah.
I have no problem. I had no quarrels with him, but I see he'd be a top 20 tight end.
I'm seeing him as the future. When people zig,
right.
I'm zagging and I'm taking the guy who I have faith in.
209? No, he'd be better than that.
That's like a slap in the face right there.
Right. You probably no, you don't have to Kincaid too high. I think that was my biggest one. That he was real low.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I had somebody else that I was like, what? Evan Ingram. I don't think I had Evan Ingram in my top. I think he's gonna go the other way, especially with the addition of Ridley.
Okay.
He's gonna go the other way.
What about
I don't think
Gerald Everett? You think he's being slept on?
Oh, I think Jerry was being slept on because in that Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore's offense, he'll do. He should have a better year this year.
Okay.
Now I want to see what he had last year.
What Gerald Everett had last year?
Yes, he only had 58 receptions, 555 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now he's going to have 65 receptions. He should have like 700 yards. He should probably have like 6 to 8 touchdowns.
I can see that.
I think he will increase in all 3 of those main categories this year.
I can see
under
that.
Kellen Moore. I think they're gonna let Justin Herbert throw the ball all over the field this year.
Okay.
Long as his guys stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Long as Keenan Allen, Mike Williams can get hurt because they got Quentin Johnston. But long as Keenan Allen stay, man, yeah, I do think that they're going to use Gerald Everett more this year.
Okay.
They should.
Should.
That's why I have in my mention. They should.
I was trying to look up. Let me look up some stats I want to see what Kellen Moore did last year with the tight ends.
Dalton Schultz had a pretty good.
And that's what I'm trying to refer back to. Yes, we know.
He did.
We know
he had a better
year 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. That's what I'm thinking of.
And that's what I'm trying to see is like based off.
But wasn't he hurt though? Something last year?
I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I really didn't know.
I'm not either. But he finished tight end. He finished tight end 8.
So 2 years ago, he had 104 targets on 78 receptions for 808 yards on 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns.
Can you see Gerald Everett getting that? Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah. Yes. Real close to that.
Especially,
yeah.
You also got to look at the offense, too. The offense is actually better. You got a better QB. You got to upgrade at QB. You got to upgrade at running back.
Mm-hmm.
You also got to upgrade at wide receivers as a whole.
As a whole, yeah, combination-wise, yes.
And then the tight end. Like, so if you have 3 out of the 4 that are better upgrades,
hey,
then the tight end has to get some type of look.
I read something on Herbert today or yesterday. If I remember saying like they're gonna let him sling it all over the field. What they say? What did I read? Where did I read that? I can't remember where I read it, where I saw it. But I saw some alluded to like they're gonna let him throw it all over the field.
Okay.
And so, what did Kellen Moore? Justin Herbert. Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert. Just get out of the way. What did he say? I don't know where I read that at.
You don't know where? Twitter, maybe?
No, I can't remember where I read it or what was said exactly. Last season, Herbert completed 25. Herbert completed 25 or 73 passes or 20 or more air yards. Okay. For 867 touches, 3 interceptions, pass rate 91. Man, I can't remember. Oh, it says it's time for Chargers. Refuse to let the big dog eat.
They should have been letting him eat.
Yeah, regarding the talent, he's going to the biggest obvious thing is arm talent, but the combination of his size, it's really fun to see. He's a 6-foot hanger quarterback. There's a few throws up there he makes it say, I would never think about trying to throw it, but here we are, the big thing. I can't remember where I saw it. He's not on any of my fantasy teams. Where did I see that at? Yeah, I think he's gonna eat, man.
You think he's gonna eat?
I think he's gonna be. I guess he's always been he's been a MVP candidate, but I think he has a really good chance to win it this year.
Okay,
I do. Who's got Justin Hunt? He remains. Oh, he got Jones. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right, so. Everybody, that is going to do it for episode 5 on this Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, where we rank the top 12 tight ends versus ADP. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then if you listen to this up on Apple, iTunes, please rate us and give us a 5-star rating. Because always, you got to remember,
5-star rating.
Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, we are always here just to entertain you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.